Hello, hello, hello. So while we're waiting to see who is going to pop up tonight, I'm going to say hello to you all on the replay. I hope that you all have been doing well. I've had a very busy day, but I'm excited because I'm scratching a lot of things off of my list. And what's so crazy is that I'm scratching things off of my end of the year list. So once I get done this week and Monday, Tuesday, I will be done for the year, as far as things that are related to work. So I'm super, super, super duper excited. If you follow me on at She Writes Masterpieces, I did my final Let It Go Wednesday of the year last night, and it was absolutely amazing. It was definitely a release, and I felt as if it was perfect to close out the year. I talked about my faith journey, so if you wanted to watch the replay of that, you can find it on IGTV or on my YouTube channel, Confessions of a Good Girl. And now we're doing the final Pick My Brain of 2021. And like I mentioned last night, I'm just super, super, super duper grateful, for everyone who has tuned in, who has watched, whether you were here during the live or you caught the replay, if you commented, if you reached out with a DM. Like, I truly, truly, truly do appreciate it because it took a lot for me to actually become more visible in my business. And I've actually talked about this in a previous video. And I'm so glad that I did, because I learned that it wasn't about me, that the things that I knew needed to be shared so that other people can have this knowledge to pass on to other people. So now I'm actually excited to get on here and share this knowledge with you. And I hope that you all have been inspired by something that I have said. And even if I was not the person that you worked with to bring this to fruition, if I was just a vessel that sparked a thought, that inspired you to do something that you've always wanted to do, that led you to a particular person who could truly help you reach that goal, I'm grateful, because that's why I'm here, to be a vessel, to serve in any way that I can do that. I am here to do so. And again, just thank you guys so, so much. And let me do a time check. We have one more minute. So we're going to give people some more time to come in, and then we are going to go ahead and get started. And if you guys have not done so already, go and get my new ebook, Doing Business the Legal Way, How to Start and Run an Online Business. It officially dropped yesterday. It is $14.99, and you can go to the link in the bio to get your copy. And this is perfect for people who have been considering starting a business, but you didn't know exactly how to go about it. And also, even if you've already gone through the process of registering your business, but you don't know where to go next, so you don't know exactly how to set your business up for success. You don't know how to set it up for a launch. You don't know how to advertise, create your brand story. I got you covered. All of that is in the ebook. So again, just go to the link in the bio and get your copy. And also, if you're not willing to spend your $14.99 just yet, you can get the checklist for $1. So you can get the same information. I just have it outlined so that you will be able to check things off as you go to make the process a bit easier. So it's a win-win. You'll get valuable information whether you get the $1 checklist or you buy the ebook for $14.99. So for those of you who have already purchased your copy, thank you. I hope you all are enjoying it. And for those of you who still have yet to get your copy, do so right now. And once you get it, I guarantee like you are going to love it because I am sharing my personal experiences, sharing my mistakes so that you won't make the same mistakes. Like I did everything backwards. I just jumped into it, had to figure things out as I go. But with this ebook, you won't have to do that. And I'm quite sure that it is 6:04 now, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started with the video, which is a perfect segue from the ebook because it's directly related to it. So if you notice the title, it is How to Turn Your LLC into a Successful Business. And like I mentioned to you before, it's like I had the LLC at first, but it's like, how do I make it a successful business? That was something I just had to figure out from trial and error, things I had to figure out along the way. And like I told you, I made a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that I had to go back and clean up, things that cost me a lot of time and money, which is why I wanted to get on here and do this video to give you guys one of the things that I think is the key to turning your LLC into a successful business. But before I get into that, I wanted to start by sharing something that I just think is just funny. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with LLC Twitter, but every time that there is a surplus of money that gets circulated, whether it is during tax season or there's a stimulus check, LLC Twitter comes out And they're pushing everybody. You got to take this money and start your business, start your LLC, get ownership. That's the only way you'll be able to be free, which I don't disagree with what they say. Oftentimes, it's how they say it. It comes across as if they're trying to bully people into starting a business simply because they have one. And of course, starting an LLC is not that difficult. All you have to do is figure out what's required in your state, complete the registration, pay the fees, and you got an LLC. But what do you do after you get the LLC? Like, what do you do to keep it running, to keep it going? And that's the problem where a lot of people are stumped. So that's where I would have to disagree with the LLC Twitter, because they tell people to get it, but they don't necessarily tell them how to obtain it, how to keep it going once they've gotten it. And sometimes they make people feel guilty for not even wanting it. There are several people who are just completely content with having a regular job to where they have benefits, they have paid time off, like there's a sense of security there. And I don't blame people for that, because I started my business without a security blanket. Like I said, it was something that presented itself and I had to go with it. And if I could do it all over again, I would have a regular job and then save up for my business so that I can eventually just branch off into the business wholeheartedly. But that was not my story at all. And there are so many people who just don't desire entrepreneurship at all. Like, that's not something that they even want. So I don't feel as if people should be forced into it. But if you are someone who has been considering it and you're not exactly sure what you need to be focused on, even though it's a lot of things that I could share tonight, there is one thing that I think is the main key to turning your LLC into a successful business, and that is being intentional. And that is something that I was not in the beginning. And when you're intentional, that will save you a lot of missteps along the way, because you are clearly outlining a plan for your business. And no, it doesn't have to be a full blown business plan. Like, there are ways around that. And of course, I talk about this in the ebook that it's great to have a full business plan if you're working with investors and banks, but just to get started, you can just get away with an outline, just having a clear outline of certain things. And I'm going to pull some of those things from the ebook to talk to you guys about tonight. So it's going to be 3 areas where I feel you should be the most intentional in your business in order for it to be successful. And the first thing is to know what you want from your business. What do you want your business to do? What do you want your business to achieve? Clearly outline these goals. What is your end goal? And not necessarily with the business itself. What do you want the business to do for you personally? Like I mentioned before, there are some people who do want the freedom to just branch off into their business full time so that they don't have to rely on a 9 to 5. There are also people who still just want to have a side hustle. They don't want to leave their jobs. And also sometimes some people are just focused on the sales, which is perfectly fine, because there are some people who will shame people for being focused on the money. But the point of a business is to make money. That's fine. If you are focused on making an impact, how many people you can reach, that's great too. But just make sure that you are clear with what it is that you want from your business personally. And then outside of that, you go into, okay, so what do I want the business itself to achieve? How are you going to measure your success? Are you going to focus on revenue? Are you going to focus on sales, profits, the amount of clients that you're reaching, the level of impact that you're making? How are you going to measure that? Make sure that you have that clearly defined, clearly outlined. What is that going to look like? And oftentimes you can achieve this by coming up with your mission statement. Like just having what it is that you want this business to achieve in the short term. What are you focused on doing? What are you wanting to accomplish? If you're in products, what problem is this going to solve? If you're doing a service, the same thing. What problem is this going to solve? Who is this going to help? How can it help people? How can it serve people? Make sure that you have that clearly outlined. So, number 2, I think that this is probably the most important one, probably more so than knowing your end goal. Knowing who is your ideal client, who is going to be your audience, because you can have all of these goals clearly lined out, but if you don't know who your business is going to help, who is going to serve, it's pretty much pointless, because now you're just trying to reach anybody and everybody, but oftentimes you end up reaching no one because it's not clear. And you have to really dig deep with your client, like really focus it in on one person, because even though yes, overall it would be an audience because you want to reach multiple people, you have to treat them as if you're talking to one person to make it seem as if like this is for you and only you. That is how your business will grow. And one way to do this is just to do, a deep dive with research, figuring out what are the demographics for your ideal client, what are the interests, hobbies, pain points, what are the issues that they're having that they would like solutions to, what are their needs or their wants. Because sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be a problem that needs to be solved. Sometimes it can just be things that people want, things that people desire. So once you're able to just dive deep and go through your research and figure this out, you're better able to create products that would serve this group of people. You can create services that would better serve this group of people because I'm not going to lie to you all. In the beginning, I just came up with what I wanted to offer, and it wasn't really focused on one particular person in mind. It's like, look, this is what I can do, this is how much I'm charging for it. So, okay, here you are. But over time, I started to realize people started to request certain things. And I was like, so maybe I need to go back in and tweak some things. And over time, I have phased out services. I have added services. I have added to the services that I already have to enhance them so that they can grow. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you all when I first started out. I was just editing academic papers and song lyrics. Like, that's all I was doing. But over time, people started trusting me with books, with their copy, and now I'm helping people like go from start to finish with their book projects. So not only helping them brainstorm the book, but actually write the book, publish the book, market the book. So now it's really this big thing, all because I started paying attention to what my clients wanted. And like I mentioned to you guys, like it really pays off because that's who you're selling to. And if you have no intended audience to sell to, your business is just not going to grow. And with this ebook, this was viewer requested content. I put up a poll and asked people what would they like to see, and this is something that they asked for. And I intended to put out a completely different ebook. I was going to do a career based ebook, which is still going to come out next year. But even still, I'm still going to do another poll because I have other ebooks as well to see what it is that they want. And that's how I'm going to continue to release my content. So knowing your ideal client, knowing who your intended target audience is, it really shapes your business. Like it really is your business because without the people that you're servicing, what's the point? So, the last one, which was a really big one for me as well, know when you need help and know when to reach out for that help because oftentimes you can know this is a lot, but you still push yourself to do it. But it's like before you get to that breaking point, before you get to the points where you're tired, you're exhausted, and you're just dazed and confused, you have to know beforehand, well before then, to prevent this from happening. I need to reach out to someone to get help. And when I tell y'all, it does not have to just be a physical person to help you. It can be a resource. It can be something digital. When I first started out, I was bookkeeping manually. I didn't have like any services that I had online to track what I was spending, what I was earning. I just did it myself. I was in Excel creating spreadsheets. And of course, in the beginning, because my business started out as a side hustle, it was easy to do, because it wasn't a lot of clientele. But once it started to pick up, once I started taking on more projects, it's like, this is a lot to go in and manually enter, like day after day, because it was a lot. And even if I let things pile up, if I had multiple things in a day, trying to do it about a week, that was ridiculous. So over time, I started using services that automatically tracked it. So now all I have to do is go in, type in a date, and print it out. It's simple. Someone is doing that for me. And also within the past 2 years, I've become more comfortable with outsourcing. And with me being a writer and an editor, I've always been overprotective of all the things that I create. So the thought of someone else helping me create it was like, it's not going to be authentic. It's not going to really be me. But the beauty of it, if you have people who know what they're doing, they can still capture your voice. They can still capture your vision. And it would look like something that you created. So I've been more open to outsourcing and I'm doing group book coaching now. And I knew for a fact there is absolutely positively no way that I could do that on my own, because sometimes doing the individual book coaching can become a lot if I have multiple clients that are working on that at one time. So imagine having a group of people who have things that need to be done at the same time. It's a lot. So I reached out and I started interviewing people to help me out. So even though that in and of itself, it was new to me, and it's like, of course, there's always going to be doubts and anxiety associated with that, but now it's a relief because it's like, I know I don't have to worry about how all of this stuff is going to get done because I can send this to someone to help me out. So knowing when you need help, knowing when to reach out for that help, and being willing to receive the help as well, because sometimes you can be a little prideful. Even when you're receiving the help, you're critical of it. It's like, well, it's still not as good as what I would like. But guess what? You don't know everything, and there's always going to be someone who knows something more than you. So you don't have to be critical. You can embrace it. You can learn from people. And really, that is what I was looking for when I was looking for people to come on as editors. I wanted people who were going to teach me in the same way that I would teach them, because I don't want it to be like I'm all knowing and you only have to do things the way that I want them to be done. I want you to pinpoint things that I would miss, things that I would not see. Because in addition to just getting them to help me with the group book coaching, I also offer like, hey, can you help me on the projects that I'm editing? Be that last set of eyes to help me out, to catch the things that I don't see, because of course there's a lot of human error. So it's very freeing, it's very relaxing. And years ago, when I was not doing that, when I was taking on everything by myself, I was so stressed out, I was so frustrated. And when you spend most of your time stressed out and frustrated, you don't have a lot of time to think about the day to day operations of your business, if they're running smoothly or functioning correctly, because you're just trying to manage yourself. You're just trying to make it. But when I'm able to free up my time and pass some things along, I can focus more on my business. I can start brainstorming, preparing for the future, knowing, okay, so what's going to be the next venture that I can work on. And being able to free myself has allowed me to create digital products, which I absolutely love doing. And before I just did not have the time to. But now I know how to manage my time. I know how to organize my schedule to where I can get multiple things done that normally would have taken me a very long time to get done if I was going to do everything myself. And I know that sometimes you want to hold on, to the title of being a solopreneur and getting everything done yourself. But trust me, it is okay to let go. Like, your business is not going to be successful if you're not willing to allow other people to help you with it. Like I said, there are so many other people who know more than you who can actually help you, and use it to your advantage. Take advantage of it. Be open and willing to accept help. So, just to give you guys a recap on how you can be intentional in turning your LLC into a successful business. One, know what you want your business to achieve. Clearly outline your goals. Two, know your ideal client. Know who your target audience is so that you can know who you're selling to. And last, number three, make sure that you know when to reach out to help. Make sure that you are willing to receive that help, because when I tell you, like, life is just so much better now, I just feel lighter. Like, where I used to be mentally and emotionally years ago, it is completely different from where I am now. And I'm more dedicated to my business. Once upon a time, I'm gonna just be real with y'all, I was willing to be like, you know what? If someone else came along and just wanted to take over, I would pass it along to them. Like, I wouldn't want anything to do with it. Like, I would literally tell people this, like, I just don't want it. But that's because, like, it was just so much dealing with it. But once I was able to free myself and, like, really focus on what was going to help me in my business, it's like now it's like, nah, I'm not going anywhere. But they can come in and help me, you know. But I'm not going anywhere because it's so much that I see for my business. It's like I have a really clear vision. And when you have a clear vision, it is easy for you to be intentional about your business, because everything you do, you would do it with your business in mind. You would plan things out. You would take calculated risk. Like, you would treat your business like it's your baby, not to where you're overprotective, but you are going to treat it with care. And while you take care of it, it is going to nurture you in return. And like I said, like, just be intentional. Be intentional, know what you want, and figure out how to go after it and make it happen. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Like I mentioned, this is the last Pick My Brain of 2021, and it has been great doing all these videos with you this year. And if you wanted to catch up, you can find it on IGTV, or you can go over to my YouTube channel, Masterpieces Writing and Editing LLC, to catch up on these videos. I have so many more planned out for 2022, so I cannot wait to get back on here with you guys. But in the meantime, if you have not gotten your copy of my new ebook, Doing Business the Legal Way, How to Start and Run an Online Business, make sure that you go to the link in the bio and get your copy. Also, If you want to work with me one-on-one in 2022, make sure that you go and start booking ahead. I will be out of the office starting tomorrow until January, but you still can book ahead. And also, if you just wanted to schedule a consultation for next year, feel free to do that as well. If you want to talk about editing, copywriting, book coaching, request a code, and I will be sure to get back to you, because even though I will be out of the office, it's like I won't be out. So I will still be able to get back to you guys in a timely manner. And if you wanted to continue this conversation, if you had questions, feel free to leave a comment, or you can send me a DM. Also, if you wanted to collaborate on a video with me, feel free to send me a DM. And also, guys, just take care of yourself during this holiday season. Make sure that you are giving love, spreading love. Make sure that you are kind to others and to yourself. And I really do hope that you guys are safe, that you feel warm, that you feel loved. And I really do want you to have a very Merry Christmas, a very prosperous and Happy New Year. And like I said, just take care of yourself, love on yourself, and whatever goals that you have for yourself, even if you had your goals set for earlier this year, it did not happen, you still have time this year to make it happen. And if not, there's still 2022. There's still so much time for you to reach your goals. And if there is any way that I can help you do that, feel free to reach out and we can chat about it, because that's one of the main reasons why I decided to get on here and do these videos, like to show people what is possible, to show them that whatever they might fear, it is very accessible, it is very doable, but you have to be intentional about getting it done. So again, thank you guys so much. I hope that you have a lovely evening, and I will see you all in 2022. Bye.